Joining us now with reaction, Fox News analyst Dr. Marc Lamont Hill. See, I'm worried about this stuff on all the networks, not just CNN, and just this happened on CNN, that they say this stuff. It didn't happen. There's no N-word sign. The guy was arrested who did that, and the woman rightfully was ejected because she broke the rule. So, you know, why would the guy go on and try to make it a race issue?
Well, there is a race issue here. It's very important that we have accurate facts all the time. Ripping down a Rosa Parks sign is an important point here, and that is there's a racial dimension to that. I'm pretty confident.
How do you know he knew who Rosa Parks was on the sign?
He didn't need to know who Rosa Parks is. The fact that a woman is holding up a sign with a black, if Ronald Reagan were on that sign, do you think he would have ripped it down?
I mean, have no idea what he knew or what he said.
But we could probably reasonably agree that he wasn't tearing down the sign because she violated the rules. There are a lot of rules in there. There's probably no gum chewing rule. I'm sure he wouldn't have popped the gum out of her mouth. I mean, this was a racially motivated incident.
Why wasn't it political? Maybe he doesn't like her political stance. Why is it a racial issue?
Well, the fact that, if this were isolated and this were the only thing, I would agree with you. I'd say, you know what?
Well, let's stay on this.
Right.
Okay? So the CNN allows a guy to go on and say things that aren't true, make it a race issue when he can't back it up. It gets out there. People see it. They hear it. They believe it. It isn't true. So I don't know what CNN's responsibility is. If it were me, I would have corrected it the next day.
I think they should. I think they should.
Okay.
I think they should say the reports of the N-word are unconfirmed. Not that they're not true, as you said, but that they're unconfirmed.
Nobody saw it. We can't find anybody who saw it.
No, I've heard reports. But
heard is nothing. If you saw it and you have a picture of it,
heard from people who were there. What I'm saying is it's unconfirmed. I'm agreeing that they should say that it's unconfirmed. They should also say that the man was ejected, but
not a man was arrested.
Right. on suspicion of assault. But the point here is that Tim Wise was making a claim that this was there's a racial undertone to these events.
And he's backed it up with a fallacious example. Okay.
Well, I can give you less fallacious examples. I can give you a ton of examples. I was at one.
You believe it's racial because most of the people opposing President Obama's health care are white.
That's not why I think it's racial. Bill, it would be naive and disingenuous and a logical fallacy even for me to say that just because you disagree with a black person, you're racist. You disagree with me all the time. That doesn't necessarily make you racist. You can just disagree with me on an ideological point. The question here is what happens when they go there. I went to the one in Lebanon, PA. The tone, the type of language they use to describe Obama, those are the things that make me feel like there's a racial animus to it. When they talk about the 46 million uninsured, they say, I don't want those people taking my money. There's definitely a racial undercurrent to it.
Was there a racial undertone when the far left demonized George Bush for everything, when they attacked him personally, when they called him names and a liar? Was there any race involved with that?
No. It was bitter. It was vitriolic.
Why wasn't there any race
Some
involved?
of it might have been over the top, but that doesn't just necessarily make it racial. Just because you critique someone, because everybody has a race, just because you critique someone who has a race doesn't make it racial.
It's the same kind
it's absolutely
of passionate ideological debate, okay? It's the same time.
I agree.
We don't like Bush because Bush does this. We don't like Obama because Obama does that.
Right, but that's not, that's not what they're saying.
Deal.
I can tell you, being at the one in Lebanon, it wasn't just Obama does this, it's Obama is this.
Is what?
Not one of us. Many of these people were there were also echoing the birther claim. So these are people who don't even believe the guy's American. And the
birther claim is just stupid. I don't see it as racist. Look, if
you don't think it's racist?
No. Why would it be racist? They're trying to say he's not an American citizen, not qualified to hold a presidency.
You don't find it just a little bit ironic that the one black president, we've only had one black president in the history of America, he's the only one whose authenticity as a natural citizen is being questioned?
Well, the authenticity of President Bush's National Guard duty was questioned. Is there a racial component?
But not his Americanness.
Well, look,
they're questioning if the guy's even American.
I've been doing this for a long time. Zealots on both sides, right and left, are going to find whatever avenue they can find. I don't see the race thing here.
Right. There are left-wing zealots all the time. I even know some, not me, but I know a bunch of them. But this is something different. This isn't just about zeal. This is about race. When I go to those events and they talk about that guy, there's no deference, there's no reverence. You can hang.
There's no deference or reference to Bush on the left.
When people hung Bush,
they were saying that liar. What's the difference?
Well, that was after he lied, and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with listen to me. I'm okay with calling Obama a liar. If you say Obama's a liar, I disagree with you, but I'm okay with that. That's part of what being American is about. But when you start saying this guy's not American, he's not one of us, then they use the term socialist to sort of smuggle in all this sort of white supremacist, racist ideology.
Okay,
that
so you can call Bush a fascist, there's no race there, but you call Obama as a socialist and there's a race there. I'm not buying this at all. You're not convincing me.
On the table, apples and apples, there's no difference. You're absolutely right. But you're trying to examine a text without a context.
No. All I'm trying to do is try to tell you that the debate has nothing to do with race. Now, are there racial cranks? Are there people who don't like Barack Obama because he's black? Yeah.
And you know what? They tend to go to town hall meetings.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one good reason why.
I will tell you that I believe 90% of the people in the Lebanon, Pennsylvania meeting that you went to are good folks with no racial animus. They have a political animus.
That is as empirically unverifiable as when someone else says
No, that's what I believe.
Right. But we can't. I like to go on fact. In the no-spin zone, I like to deal with facts. A lot of these people are senior citizens. They're 80 years old. They're 70 years old. These are people who opposed civil rights. These are people
some of them did, and
these are
some
people
of
who
them didn't.
No, what I'm saying is there's a reason why white racists might be overrepresented at a town hall meeting.
You just said you want to deal with facts, and you can't prove what you just said.
That's an absolute fact.
How would you know?
Because black people only had the right to vote for 43 years. So if you're 70...
How do you know the people in Lebanon, Pennsylvania opposed it? You don't know.
Well, if we look at the history of that region, if we look at the fact that it overwhelmingly voted GOP for the last 30 or 40 years...
Oh, if you're a Republican, you're a racist?
Let's take a natural distribution. Let's say only 20% of Americans oppose civil rights, even though that's not white Americans. Even though that's not true, it's much larger. Even if that's true, if everybody there is 80 years old, then that means at least 20 of those people are of a tradition that oppose civil rights. That's another reason why it might make sense that they're overrepresented. I'm not saying they're racist. I don't know all of them. I just know what I saw when I was there.
Doctor, I'm not buying it at all.
I'm shocked.